Hello and welcome to the View from ADB 2017. Today we're joined by Carlos Dominguez, Finance Secretary of the Philippines. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So first off, a key point of your, policy framework as the new Finance Secretary of the country is to look and reform the tax system. And obviously you've also announced that you'd like to decrease corporate tax, income tax, inheritance tax, etc. How do you plan to make up for the eventual loss of government revenue if these tax rates go down?
Yes, our tax plan is a plan that has both tax revenue eroding measures as well as revenue enhancing measures. The revenue eroding measures are really there to make sure that the tax system is fairer to the public and to make up for the fact that the bracket creeps have come up over the last 20 years. And essentially, we are going to exempt from paying any taxes people who earn less than 21,000 pesos a month. To make up for the revenue losses, in our first package, we are just adjusting the fuel taxes to inflation. The fuel taxes were imposed at 4 pesos per liter in 1997 and have never been adjusted since then. So that will make up and actually enhance our revenues over the next few years.
And they will be increased to 6 pesos per liter.
By
Is that
six.
correct?
By
six.
six.
Okay,
Over
up to 10.
3 years.
Over 3 years.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then we are also going to increase taxes on automobiles.
Okay.
Our traffic situation in Manila is extremely bad, and this is one way to make sure that people are disincentivized from buying cars and are incentivized to use public transportation, which we are improving as well at this time. We're also reducing the tax rate for individuals from 32% at the maximum to 25% at the maximum.
In addition also to the tax reform, I was keen to speak also about a potential new policy reform. There is talk about changing the constitution to allow more foreign ownership in Filipino companies. Do you confirm this is happening?
Yes,
and when?
Yes. That is happening. Our president has made it a platform of his campaign and platform of our government to open our economy to more foreign investment, with the exception of land ownership. That's a very sensitive issue in the Philippines, having been a colony of the US as well as Spain. So we are looking to open all the areas in the Philippines, power generation, retailing.
And do you know when that might come to fruition?
Actually, there are two ways we can do it. The first way is administratively, which is fairly limited. We have a window to, our laws allow us to change the negative list every 2 years, and that's coming up this month. So we are studying very carefully which areas to remove from the negative list. But for the more fundamental changes, we will have to go to the Constitution. And we have to have either a constitutional convention or the legislature can act as a constitutional body for that. And after those measures are enacted, they will still have to be ratified by some kind of an election. We hope that there will be elections in 2019. We hope
2019,
that by that time the constitutional amendments will be ready, so that we can vote on them while we vote on our regular elections.
And finally, to look at also the question of trade beyond Filipino borders.
Yes.
Obviously, since the Duterte administration has come in, there has definitely been a shift away, arguably, from the US, more towards China, also from an economic point of view, potentially for investment and trade.
Yes.
Since Chinese export demand has been falling in the past few years, do you think there might be potential worries in terms of finding export demand if there is a strong focus focus on China, for instance, going forward?
Well, let's put it this way. Asia as a whole, ASEAN included, is the fastest growing region in the world today. And I think it makes eminent sense for us to integrate our economy more to Asia, as well as the Asia plus three, South Korea, Japan, and China. And quite frankly, we've had a lot of problems with China in the past, and this have limited our exports to them and limited the number of tourists that have come to us. Now that we have sort of normalized our relationship, we have put aside the issues that divide us and say we are not going to let those issues drive our entire relationship. We feel that the Chinese market is going to be very open to us, regardless of their current reduction in exports. I think they will still be a big market for the Philippines.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your
Sure.
insight and have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.